especially useful for people who use Pinterest for their business, but might get stuck from time to time on what to post. How to take the same blog post and generate 10 totally different pin titles with different angles using different keywords. This is the tool that I use to speed along my own Pinterest marketing strategy as well as that of my clients and my students. And I love using this tool for these very specific purposes I'm going to show you today because it can help you to really stop wasting time. And if consistency is an issue for you, then this is definitely going to help with that. Now, there are 5 different very specific use cases I'm going to show you today for this specific tool. And I probably use these every single week, if not every single day. Now, the pinbot is a Pinterest-focused ChatGPT, custom bot that I built. I actually originally had someone else build it, and then I ripped it apart about a year later and rewrote everything. And then just this year, I gave it another facelift. It's built around things like Pinterest workflows, Pinterest strategy, the guidance that I would give you if you were to come to me and ask questions. This includes things like writing copy, analyzing workflows, creating workflows, giving you ideas if you're trying to brainstorm. It can take lists of keywords and create things out of those lists of keywords. It can help you to audit your Pinterest profile, which I actually trained it to do, and it's so powerful. This is especially useful for people who use Pinterest for their business, but might get stuck from time to time on what to post. How to take the same blog post and generate 10 totally different pin titles with different angles using different keywords. You can do it. It's definitely a task that I think anyone can do without AI, but the tool itself is definitely useful in helping you get outside of your own brain. I know you need to use your brain, and I know all of the reasons why someone should not use AI, but this is a tool that I still use to help me to be better at the things that I'm already good at, and be better as in do them faster. I'm not replacing my own brain when I'm doing these tasks. And oftentimes I still do all of these tasks manually, especially if I just need to get something done quickly in the moment and I don't have time to open up the bot and type a prompt out or anything like that. So what I'm saying is you can use this if you are lacking time and focus and kind of like a cohesiveness when it comes to your strategy. Or you can do all of this stuff manually and still get it done. It's really up to you on how you want to approach it. So let's dive into the actual tool and how it works with these 5 very different use cases, shall we? Okay, so you are inside of my pinbot right now. Well, you're inside my ChatGPT, you're not inside my pinbot. The pinbot is this custom GPT here. And basically what I've done is I've set up a couple of things for us to work on. So the very first thing that I want to do is I want to give it a prompt to create some pin titles for me. And the very specific blog post I have here linked that I want it to create for me as well. And then we're just going to hit enter. Now, I want to start by saying that I normally use this bot inside of my custom folder. So I actually want to use it in that way today with you because I want you to see how I actually specifically use it and get the most out of it. Now, my custom project folder has all of the training inside of it that you need or that the bot needs in order to give you the best outcome for your business. This is anything and everything from my About My Business worksheet, previous copy that I have written, my sales page, my offers, blog posts that I've written so it knows about me, it knows about my customers, students, my clients, not my clients specifically, but like who they are and like how I help them. So all of that is stored in the source files of that custom project. And that's how I would encourage you to use this as well. So you can actually use the custom GPT inside of your project file, But what I would do is actually just start the chat off with telling it that I need help. And this is just basic ChatGPT, and it's going to come back to you and be like, okay, what do you need help with? I oftentimes will actually just click I need help and then let it go and then hit the stop button. And from here, I will paste in the prompts that I want to use. So the blog post and then the prompt. Now this prompt is for titles and descriptions for this blog post. And that's the first and the main way that I actually use the pinbot for myself and clients. And then what I like to do is just click and type the pinbot and hit enter. Now what it's going to do is it's going to get to thinking and it's going to read its own source material, its training, and it's going to take a look at what the prompt was that I gave it, the blog post, and it's going to start to formulate for me. Now this is where I actually like to go ahead and interrupt it again, and I hit stop. And I like to scroll down here to the chat, and I'm going to move this project inside my custom project folder. Then I'm going to go back into that chat and say, hey, you've been moved to my custom project folder so you can reference all of the information about my business, and hit enter. And it's going to get back to work. It's going to search the project context. It's going to take the bot training and information, and it's going to start melding those things together. And we're now going to get to work on creating these 10 titles and descriptions. Now, sometimes it gets a little confused because I stopped it a couple of times in the midst of going. So I'm just going to repaste the blog post because now it's told me that it has everything it needs and we're going to move on. Super secret. The number one thing that I want you to keep updated inside your project source files is your Pinterest keywords. You can do Google keywords as well, and I would encourage you to do both, but make sure that you are adding your Pinterest keywords. I would put them in a spreadsheet in multiple tabs, and each tab should be properly labeled, and then download that spreadsheet as an Excel workbook. Once you have it as an Excel workbook, the bot can actually go and read all of the tabs inside of the workbook instead of it being a CSV file where it can only read one tab. You get one file, one tab, and then you have to upload all of them. I like keeping it up to date in a workbook on my desktop and then just re-downloading it as an Excel workbook every time I need to. And then deleting that source file from the project folder and re-uploading it as needed. Now, it has gotten to work on creating these pin titles and the descriptions. And the training inside of the bot actually tells it to highlight the keywords in bold, not to highlight them, but to put them in bold, so I can actually see at a glance exactly what keywords it pulled from the reference sources. Now that's the first 2 ways out of 5 that I like to use this bot. Now let's pop back over to my little sheet here, and I'm going to tell it that I wanted to help me brainstorm additional angles for this. So what I did first was say, hey, I need titles. These are very similar to all the titles that I use regularly. And if I'm bored with these, if I really want to get something new and fresh in here, I'm going to go ahead and tell it, I want to ideate new angles. And I want you to help me to do that across the customer journey. So I'm going to go ahead and put that prompt in. This is the 3rd way that I like to use it. And this way should take what it did before and kind of build on top of it. Now you can see here, I'm working with GPT, the thinking model, and it is taking about 1.5 to 2 minutes for each response sometimes to go through. And that's because the auto model that I was using before was giving me the worst responses. So I pivoted and did thinking, and that seems to be giving me better responses. Now it's going to go ahead and brainstorm Pinterest titles by customer journey, or by the phase of a customer journey. So it's giving me awareness here, how Pinterest strategy supports every funnel stage. That's pretty good. Why Pinterest traffic lasts longer than social posts. That's really good. Stop treating Pinterest like an afterthought. This is decent, but it's still like it's lacking a keyword. So I probably would put like stop treating your Pinterest strategy like an afterthought. So at least I would come up in the keyword search Pinterest strategy. So now it's gone on through awareness, decision, consideration, and it's even giving me some for retention and expansion, which There's 5 phases of a customer journey. I really only ever focus on 3. Now, that is the first 3 ways that I like to use this tool. The 4th way is to analyze Pinterest data, and this is probably my favorite and most powerful, and I should have saved this one for last, but I need the 5th one to work off the 4th one, so we're going to do it in order. So what I'm going to do is, prior to this, I actually went and downloaded all of the material that I would need for this audit. So I went and grabbed the Pinterest data that I wanted, the audience insights, I took screenshots of my profile, and I pulled all of that together into an Excel file. And I'm going to just paste my prompt, and I'm going to pop over to my desktop, and I'm going to go ahead and just drag all 5 of these files into here. I've told it in the prompt already exactly what I'm uploading and what I want. So I'm just going to hit enter, and it's going to get to work on analyzing all of that data. Okay, so we're back. It took 4 minutes and 17 seconds for it to analyze all of the stuff that I gave it. So when you want to use the pinbot to do an audit for your account or your client's accounts, upload everything and go do your laundry, go eat lunch, go have a pee, go have a poo, whatever you need to do, right? And then come back and it should be ready for you. Executive summary here tells me that the things that are working for engagement are these. So niche Pinterest use cases, which, hello, I'm really good at this. I've been really good at this for years. Also, Pinterest-specific educational content. So that's actually really great to know that I'm doing my job well. Now, it's telling me that what's working for outbound clicks is problem-solving pins. No surprise there. And then the biggest takeaway is your broad business content is getting reach, but your Pinterest-specific content is getting better quality traffic. Now, what this thing can do, if you give it the reports that I teach you to give it, is take a look at each report and compare them to each other. And it can see through those reports what is working and what is not working, and then it can give you advice. So I really like it for that. Now it's going to tell me all kinds of things, like best boards working right now, what this says about engagement, what's working for outbound clicks. It's going to give me a list of those pins with percentages, best boards for outbound clicks. This is all gold information. Now, of course, you want to take this and you want to analyze your Pinterest account against what it says to make sure that it's accurate, okay? Now, the 5th and final thing that I like to do with this bot, because it is my friend, is ask it for board ideas. Now, here is what I want you to do and what I'm not really able to do with my Pinterest themed account. I don't have as many Pinterest trends available to me. So what I always tell my students to do and what I do for my clients is I export their Pinterest trends data and I upload it with the audit data. So the audit can actually cross-reference the trends with everything that we're doing inside the Pinterest strategy. Now, beyond that, it can give you board insights, like boards that you should create because you have gaps, boards that you should pin to, keywords that you should use for those boards. If you need board descriptions or you need to update them, you can actually use this to help you to do that. So what I like to do is tell it to give me board ideas for my profile. What gaps do I have based on those trends, those keywords that I'm using, and the screenshots I already uploaded. So it says, I'm attaching my current boards. Some of the titles cut off. You can compare them to the top list of my boards in the Excel workbook I uploaded earlier. Hit enter. Let it do its thing. And it's going to give you a list of suggestions that you can then work on. Now, this is really, really great for anyone just starting out on Pinterest, because if you're not sure what boards to start with, this bot can help you if you feed it the right information. All right, so the pinbot thunk for another minute and a half, and it's given me my current list of boards and then some board ideas that I can add. And these are actually pretty decent. So I think I have one on board strategy. I would have to go back and double check. I definitely have one on Pinterest SEO, so I don't need that. But I don't have one on strategy for service providers. So that's an interesting insight. And I know I have some on scheduling tools and workflows, but I don't have any that combine the two ideas together. I don't have anything on content planning. I don't have one called Pinterest keyword tips, but I do have one on Pinterest keyword strategy, I believe. So what I'm essentially saying here is you want to scrub the list based on what you know you have. And if there's any gaps here, you can take those and you can implement them in your Pinterest profile. Okay, so that's it for this video and all of the lovely ways that I use the pinbot. Not all of them, only 5 of them, okay? But if you want a copy of this, you should definitely go grab it. And if there are more things that you want to learn for Pinterest marketing strategy, make sure you check out those videos somewhere over there. And if you just want more ongoing support, you can always join Pin Profit Academy. It is a come as you want, leave when you want kind of place. No pressure whatsoever. Otherwise, I will see you in one of the other places. Bye for now.